Oregon Made Forest Adventures. This is Kimberly. We went out in the woods the other day and picked some hedgehog mushrooms and some chanterelles. So today I'm going to show you guys how to cook those perfectly every single time. It doesn't matter if they're wet, you can rinse them off. You can add them to just about any dish, soups, a noodle dish, steak and eggs. You get the drift. So let's get to it. Thank you so much for watching the video. So here are our beautiful mushrooms. So I am just going to give these a rinse because the way we're going to be cooking these, and just to mention, usually you don't want to rinse your mushrooms because it's really important to get all the water out when you're cooking them. But since we're cooking them right away, I'm going to go ahead and just rinse them instead of, using a paintbrush to get all the debris off, because that will take quite a bit of time. And then chop them up and we'll be right back. All right, we have these rinsed and I drained them for a couple of minutes, so I'm gonna get these chopped up real quick. So I have a personal preference of these larger kind of bite-sized pieces because these are a little, so I have a preference of kind of larger bite-sized pieces. I don't really care if there's a little dirt either. God made dirt, and dirt don't hurt. I'm just gonna get these babies the right size. You guys like my big ol' manly hands? That's what happens when you work your ass off when you're young. Hands turn into strong man hands. These smaller ones like this size, I'm not gonna bother to cut them. They're perfect as they are. So, one more here. All right. Okay, so here we go. So I have my cast iron pan warming up. I have it on a 3. We're gonna cook these kind of slow because we're gonna start with a dry saute. So absolutely no oil, no butter at all. And just put these in as is. And what we're gonna do is we're going to slowly saute them until all of the water has evaporated. So the pan's not really hot, that's just the water sizzling out. Yeah, see how it's getting quieter. So we're just gonna let these sit until most of the water is out, stirring them every few minutes. A lot of the times, if I'm cooking, I'm usually multitasking and doing some other chores. So I'll cook them pretty slow. But in this case, you can turn it up higher if you want to quicken up the process. However, you do need to stay right with the mushrooms because you'll probably have to constantly be turning them. So I'm just gonna turn it up just a little bit. See that water is coming out, starts steaming like that. That's what you want until you get all the water out. So we'll just keep at it here. As you can see how important this step is. See all of that water? If you don't do this step, the butter and any spices or flavoring that you add to these mushrooms will not be absorbed. And they just won't have the best texture. So just be patient. Definitely don't skip this. So the water here is really starting to evaporate now. And for any of you that are wondering, all those little tiny, little spiky looking things, that's just coming off of those hedgehog mushrooms. I always prefer to use cast iron when I am cooking because it doesn't matter what kind of stove you have, you're always going to get a nice even heat. And of course you can also take them camping with you, or you can cook outdoors with them. You can put them right on your grill, your propane grill. All right, so we're still getting quite a bit of moisture out of these, so we'll give them a few more minutes here. Okay, I have not changed the heat setting. As you can hear, they're starting to sizzle again. So we're kind of getting down to the nitty gritty, the last bits of moisture in here. I'm just going to continue to let those cook while the water is evaporating. You don't have to worry about overcooking them at this stage because they are not technically cooking at all. They are just working on getting that water out. We've got some crackling going. They're getting really close. Okay, so they are just about done sizzling. And how you know for sure that this stage is done is when they start squeaking. So listen to this. And you can start to really smell their natural buttery flavor. So see, now we're starting to get some squeak. And once they really get squeaky, I'll show you the next step. Trust me, it's totally worth to take the extra time to do this. They come out with the most perfect texture and flavor every time. Every time. Every single time. You guys hear that? Yeah, hear that squeaky? Okay. No water present. Squeaks and squeaks. Now it's time for the next step. All right, so since I am recording this with one hand and cooking with the other, I have kind of got my salt and pepper mixture kind of mixed here and prepared. So we're just going to put in a nice generous amount of butter and just let these kind of absorb those. We want to cook these really fast now. We're just going to do a couple more minutes, if that, because we don't want them to really cook more than a couple of minutes once that water's out. So we got those nice and covered. These are gonna be so good. All right, and then we're just gonna grab some mixture here. Got pink Himalayan salt and some pepper, and just put some of that on there. However much you like. Himalayan salt's a lot better for you than regular table salt. All right, and that's it. So then now you really want to just get them out of the pan as soon as possible. So, okay, here they are. I couldn't really show you guys me removing them from the pan because again, I am working one-handed here. But this is, you know, how they turn out. I'm gonna have it with my breakfast, some eggs and some potatoes. So bon appetit.